Yeah, sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes of November 10th, 2016 Manistee Township Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the Wednesday minutes of the previous month's board meeting.
I'll second that. Motion.
To move supported that the minutes of the November 10th meeting be accepted and filed. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Thank you very much. We have received the treasurer's report. Any questions? If not, what's your wishes?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
I'll support that.
And move supported that the treasurer's report be accepted, placed on file as presented. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried. Well, the Manistee Township Planning Commission minutes are in your packet. November 3rd. Okay. And the appeals meeting on August 30th is in your packet as well. Any discussion? Are they accurate?
They're accurate.
Okay. Put them on file. Anyone with anything to bring before the board at this time? Mr. Johnson.
Okay.
Mr. Jeff.
All right, I'll give you a quick overview of the last board meeting. During public comment, our new DDA administrator came before the board. His name's Tyler Lepinen. He's a young guy, he's married, bought a house on 8th Street. Got very positive remarks. Everybody that's had a chance to meet with him yet, I think he's going to work out real well. Hopefully he sticks around for a while. The state gave the county the county was recognized for the rec plan. Kudos to everybody who worked on that. The award went to Tamara and Rob in regard to that. They're pretty proud of it. Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority, which is our insurance carrier, we got a $38,000 grant for security cameras out to the CAT, out to the police, or the sheriff's department, I should say. And the MMRMA, basically our premium, it's almost a wash every year between what we get back in distributions, and it's a heck of a program as far as having an insurance carrier and what we get, the value we get out of it. The Jaws truck, as you may know, has been sold. We sold it for $65,000, which was way more than what we were hoping to get about that, but I didn't think in reality we'd get anywhere near that. So we paid commission for the vendor that sold it online for us. It was $6,500, and that money is going to go out for heavy lift equipment, and we're handling that at the county board level, going through the security, not the security, the public safety committee. We'll make the recommendations to the full board when they come back from the County Firefighters Association. Our organizational meeting, I'm sure you'll want to be there for that. That's going to be January 2nd at 10 o'clock. I had a flight booked for January 3rd, so we had to move it to the 2nd because of that. I wasn't thinking when I made my booking. But anyways, that's going to be there. So the courthouse is closed, but we'll have it opened up just for that meeting. Housing review, we have close to $29,370 in it, and that's from money that comes back from grants that goes out to low income housing stuff for improvements. We get the state grant money that comes in, and this is money that's come back and it sits in an account. We can utilize that money as long as it's below, I think it's $30,000 or $35,000. So that can go into general funds. And anyways, what we're gonna use it for is for human resources, for a new piece, a new program for them to operate on their computers. And it's, should be somewhere around $17,000 for that, but that's what's gonna offer up out of that money. We've got resolution 2016-27, which is 2.25 mils. There's a little sliver of Mason County Eastern School District that's in, I believe, Filer Township. So we had to make a resolution on that. We also have resolution 2016-29, and that's recognizing Jared Henry and Clayton Kelly working for the 85th District Court as the new magistrate. And we also joined the Michigan Recycling Coalition. That's through Sarah. Council on Aging, we had a presentation from Mr. Bob Daniels in regard to that, which I'm sure you folks have read about in the paper with Olson's getting renovated. 40% for a new grocery store is going to go into that. 60% is going to be for the Council on Aging. They're going to have a 45 to 50 unit apartment complex there. And the number's 45 to 50 because they got to figure out how many 1 or 2 bedroom apartments are going to have, and that's where the variation is there. They're also going to have a clinical area for foot and eye care and blood pressure, and they have a commitment for 10 years on a 4-year loan that they have from USDA. Michigan State Extension came before us, gave us their annual review. There was nothing really exciting in regard to anything to report. Tommy Kaminsky's going to still stick with us until February of 17 as of now. So he was looking at leaving this year, early in the year. I think it would have been March or April, but he's sticking around till at least till February of 18. One thing in the tax bill that came for me, I noticed it says Bar Lake Improvement Board, first Monday of every month. We don't meet maybe 5 times a year, 4 to 5 times a year.
Yeah.
So I guess I would ask you to maybe strike that and just put the meeting date when those notices go out. Whenever there is a notice that goes out, because we don't meet every first Monday of the month.
I don't have anything to do with that notice, so I'll see if I can find out where that's generated from.
All right, but if we just had the meeting date, and right now at the moment, the guy said he's got to check his calendar, but it's what, April what?
10th.
It's April 10th, and that's the week of the NGA conference, so the question was.
And we might wind up moving it, so.
That's what we wondered before.
Yeah. We'll check calendars a little bit closer to it and see what's going on. But, and the Caliber Garage up for the road commission, that sale is progressing. So that's good. I'll have that
Is
up
that
to
finalized?
Yeah, I don't know if it's finalized yet or not, John.
Okay.
It was in the works. If it's not finalized, it's gotta be really close to being finalized. And that'll be getting on the tax rolls, which will be good. That's all I've got. There's a lot of stuff in the hopper, but
Jeff, you mentioned in there, county joined the recycling program. I guess I thought that the townships were obviously all approached. What does the county have for recycling?
that's just,
Is it just another entity?
Sarah Archer is, they joined the Michigan Association, and then they're looking at a regional recycling distribution point. So it'd be more than just one county. I don't know if it's gonna be 3 or 4 counties are looking at accomplishing. You know, and they're having preliminary meetings starting on that, not too far off in the future. I don't have a date on it. The date's there, but I don't have it on my calendar. Because they always look up towards, I believe, Emmett County when it comes to that recycling center they have up there. I think it's Emmett. That's been going on for
That's
probably
the
20
model.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'd like to see something like that down here.
Me too, but not across the street.
That's all I have. I don't know if anybody has any
Get your
questions.
shower taken care of?
I did. Yeah.
Jim, on those meeting dates, would you like something rescheduled into April through October? Check the schedule for specific dates as opposed to once a
Well,
month?
we kind of set it up after we had we have one meeting, and then we set up the following meeting.
At the
Right.
end
Go
of
into,
each
at
meeting.
the end of each meeting, so
Right.
I only can really give you one.
So now the only thing we can do is you make a notice and post it out there, right?
Which is what I do now.
Yeah.
And I'll check and see what the website says. I could say something that it meets from April until October, once a month from April until October, check the bulletin board
Or
for
as
specific
scheduled.
dates.
April to October.
Right, April through October seems to be the window,
Yeah,
and then just check the bulletin board for
yeah,
the date.
yeah, that
Okay.
that would work.
Okay. If
Now,
that
I'm
works.
showing the 17th guy, I don't know why we didn't go on the 3rd, but there must have been a reason. The 17th is the day after Easter.
I was gonna be gone on the 3rd.
Good. But, anyway,
Anyhow, yeah.
that's it for me. I'll keep you posted on
Anything else for Jeff?
developed.
Thank you. Anything going on in your office, guy?
Yeah. I didn't have any complaints.
That's a plus.
Yeah, that's a plus. 3 land use permits in the month of November. One was for a sign, a commercial sign, one for an addition to a home, and another for a storage building. The zoning board of appeals met last week, and I was there as a staff person. The chair would like to step down, and the zoning board of appeals would like somebody to volunteer to be the chair. Mr. Don's here cannot be the chair because he's a board member. And so they're kind of at a standstill a little bit, but we have about 1 or 2 meetings a year, usually not to consider a variance, just to keep people up to date, so. But the current chair would like to step down, so.
Are you asking for participation in that board?
Well, I think, how many members? 2.
Probably would.
We only had 1 person not there at the meeting.
There were 2, Ernie and Jeff.
Oh, Ernie, the other secretary was not there.
Well, so be it. If someone has an interest in reviewing this,
There's
Come and see
applications
us.
here, yeah, there's applications online or on our website, or you can pick them up here at the Township Hall. And then last week, Thursday, there was the planning commission meeting. They're still working on the sign amendment. It's been written into the zoning ordinance. They had a couple of comments. The county planner's already made those changes, and the next thing is to get it off to Richard Wilson to make sure it's legal. It meets the law, or the new decision by the Supreme Court. Next month, they'll be electing officers also and reviewing the master plan, which they do each year. And then I met today at AES with Tim Irvin. The county, again, seems people within the county and governmental units within the county are interested again in privatizing construction, plan review, and inspections. And Mr. AES thought that they would get that moving. Thought the board ought to know. I've informed the planning commission about it, because earlier in the month, we had a meeting there too, and it was talked about. I guess that was in November, actually. So, the one stop.
reason being because of the time it takes to get the inspections and reviews and.
Right. Plus, that way we'd have a local inspector who actually is under contract with each unit of government. So we'd probably have a little better communication between them and this township. And, 3 years ago, I went down to Lansing to speak to them about some communication issues, you know, certificates of occupancy, when a job was completed, and the state wasn't willing and didn't have a way to get that information to us, I guess.
Is this also then, Guy, some time ago, the county was very interested or pushing for one-stop shopping, if you will, different permits, driveway permits, addresses.
And they could all be gained right through one
One agency.
one office, basically,
Yeah.
or one building.
Ideally, yeah, that's where it would be
That's
nice
where
if
it'd
you
be
could
nice.
get it to go, you know, and it's, does the county need to try to set it up? You know, I don't know about that. It's one of these things that's in the township's hands. If the townships, the way I look at it is if a few of the townships went to this contractual basis and they had success with it, and it's basically revenue neutral, and you get better service, why not go that route? And then I think it would probably cascade throughout the other townships also.
I believe so.
I don't want to be sitting there trying to push people in that direction, but if you also have a little better control, because you don't have to deal with the state, that you have, you know, if you can options, you have a little bit of variance in some of your codes to a degree, I guess, am I phrasing that correctly, Guy?
They may have a little, the state has no,
They got a book that they follow.
they have a book.
They follow it to the.
But if you get better service for the same buck,
Actually, it's paid for by the people who are in the construction, you know, have a construction project.
paid
And
by
the
the
rates-
applicants.
It's paid by the applicant, and the rates that
From what
I've
I-
seen for Cadillac, the city of Cadillac, who uses people like this, are lower than the state rates. So it might even save our residents some money.
I understand Onekama's got an interest in it, Arcadia has a strong interest in it.
Right.
I don't know what Filer, you know, if you get the coastline lined up and then, you know, get it cascading eastward.
And to me, it's really no different from a township perspective than what we're doing now. You know, I do the zoning, the land use permit, and then we just pass it off to the state, and I never see it again.
Right, you don't even know if it lines up with an occupancy permit.
I don't. That's why I went to Lansing 3 years ago, where a contractor, a private contractor, would report those things to us. So we'd know that, yeah, they did get a building permit, and yes, they did get a certificate to occupy, and all that stuff. So we could close our files, my files. Okay. Seems
I guess
like,
the assessor wouldn't know either, then, would they? Say what
not
else?
really unless she goes out, yeah.
It's true. And the thing of it is, if you guys want to do that, it's a simple process. I mean, you guys can make that decision at a board meeting.
Right.
It's not something that's got to be deliberated for 6 months. I mean, it's something you can, you know, interview whoever contractually does that stuff, and if it sounds respectable and reasonable, you know, you can go that route at whenever you decide.
Anything else, Guy?
No. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. Chuck, got anything going on across the street?
A little bit. It's snowing out. A lot of accidents to hear on the radio. For the month of November, we had 5 fire-related runs, 26 medical-related, and 6 meetings, station trainings, and other activities. Total activities 37, and currently I don't have the numbers due to some technical difficulties. I'll get those in as soon as I can. For the most part, the apparatus are in good working order. 131, I mentioned last month, had some vibration in it again. And we went to use it the other day on a smoke investigation. And it started up, ran a little rough, died, and it started right back up, ran smooth. So I gotta get that looked at, because we don't want that problem. That's our first engine out. As far as the station, that little rain gutter we put up worked really well the last time it rained, so you don't get wet when you get in the station. So the connexes should have been, they went to set the connexes the other day, but it was too windy on those footings. So hopefully when we get some nice weather, maybe next week, maybe the week after. They're just gonna swing them over there and set them on those footings for us. It was too windy the other day.
Wow, wind must have really been blowing.
Yeah, there was gusts like 20 miles an hour the day that they wanted to do it, just a few days ago.
Are they gonna carry them over there with a forklift, you know, or?
Crane,
Oh, great.
we're gonna swing them over there and set them on there. They gotta set the one up higher, so they gotta get it off the ground.
Sure.
Then we didn't have any success with that parkland the last 3 times, so we'll probably look at something different since that didn't work. In the meantime, we'd still like to pursue the security type system for the doors, so we can monitor the temperature and the power outages if any, so we don't have problems with our equipment if the temperature drops. An example would be, you know, we didn't have any calls for 4 or 5 days, and if no one had stopped by, you might not know if the temperature did drop, if you had a problem, so this would warn us. Equipment, revenue sharing, we originally applied for 3 grants. We pulled one in lieu of the JAWS truck that Mr. Downs was telling us about. So we just applied for PPE and SCBA's, and I believe that's Monday, we're meeting to go over that. So we should find out something from that. And the DNR 50/50 grant that we put in back in June, we did receive the 50/50 grant. We got that note, the letter Monday. I got it on me on Monday. So what that entitles us to do is spend up to $4,338, which for wildland gear, which would be helmets, gloves, no make shirt, pants, some small backpacks and fire shelters. So I'll get with Diane and talk. There's a form we fill out and send back in, and they send it back to us. And then we have until September to purchase it and stuff like that. A couple more hoops to jump through. We do this month, the end of this month, we receive communication equipment through the 911, like headsets, radios, pagers. This is a huge benefit to the fire departments. So I don't know if Tom's kind of taken over that for us. I think we're sitting pretty well with what we currently have. I know that we have the older PR400 radios, and I think by this time next year, the newer radios will be out to all the fire departments because they're going through and buying so many at a time. Administrative, we have our 2017, yes, 2017, can you imagine? It's already 2017. Training schedule set up for the year. That includes the May 19th and 20th, the mass casualty exercise at the airport. It's already been a couple of years. So the 19th will be the simulator, the 20th is a Saturday. I have those dates right. That'll be the mass casualty exercise. You're all welcome to come join, because if it was actual real event, there'd be a lot of people involved, especially like that logistics side of things, because it would be it wouldn't just be a couple hour training, it would be a few days and possibly more than that into it. And for the personnel, I'd like to publicly thank Dan Regal for his service to the fire department. I don't know the exact amount of years right now, but I know it's been quite a few decades. And you know, he's retired, he stepped down, he'll be missed greatly. He's been a pillar in the fire department since as long as I've been there, over 15 years. And, he'll be missed, but he better stop by, from what everybody said, so. Thanks, Dan, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'll still be calling on him for questions and answers, he'll give me answers, right? Okay. And also, a couple special notes here. I know there's snow on the ground now, so burn permits. We get people still calling for burn permits, which is fine. The idea behind that is when there's snow on the ground, you can burn, but please call us. Call the number the 690-5329 number. If you can't get a hold of it, it's been working where people will call me through the township, which is fine. And that's a courtesy thing, so we can call the central dispatch and let them know where the fire is at, where the pile is going to be burning. So when someone drives by, they do nowadays, they see a fire, they just keep driving, they don't stop and see what it is. Looks like the house is on fire. So they call it as an unknown fire, they tell us, we run out there. It's the folks burning their debris. And if you're not in Manistee Township, and you look on the website and it says, yes, you can burn, you can burn. You don't need to call the number on the website. If it says yes, you can burn. If it says no, you can't burn. We get people calling from different townships, different counties. It's kind of strange. They look for a number and they say, oh, we'll call this number. If it says yes in your township, or in your county, if you're in Wexford County or any other county, you can burn it.
That's
And then-
on the DNR website?
Yep, Michigan burn map, you look at that, and it's pretty self-explanatory. They need to change the font probably just a little bit bigger, because it says down below it, if it says yes, you can burn, but it's pretty small. So, but people usually don't see that, they see numbers, and they wanna talk to somebody, but today's society, you don't really, you're lucky to get to talk to anybody. And then it's Christmas tree safety time, if you got a real tree, water it, because it'll dry out pretty quick, and no one wants a burnt tree in their house because you won't have a house. Just be mindful of that. That's all I got.
Thanks, Chuck. Any questions for Chuck?
Just something to add, Ken Falk took the undersheriff position, and we don't know who the new emergency management director is gonna be yet, so that will happen hopefully in January. New Sheriff Phil Hagan is going to post it and see who the applicants are, and we'll go from there. Might be a position that John and I'll figure out who's gonna be, I guess.
Dan, on behalf of the board here, I think I can speak for all of us, thank you for your 30-plus years of service to people in Manistee Township.
And the Christmas tree.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you. You look a little younger too.
Liquor inspector, nobody's golfing, so the Heathlands is shut down, and Mr. Watch Marina is currently closed for the winter. What's not on the agenda is the revenue sharing board, as Chuck mentioned, will meet Monday here at 5 p.m. And that's for the cycle 2, 2016 grant disbursements. Under new business, reminder that next Thursday, the 15th at 7 p.m., there's a sewer use ordinance meeting here. That meeting is to try to answer any questions anybody has along the sewer corridor. Letters have been sent personally to the people that are within the 200-foot distance of the sewer, making them especially aware of it. Representatives will be here from the township, from the tribe, Manistee County District 10 Health Department. Try to answer questions, any questions you might have, costs, hookups. At that point in time, the clock will be started for, there's a formula set up by the tribe that they will not charge a tap fee. And they will set that schedule at that time. Of course, it won't be through the winter because nobody's going to do it during the winter. But just to note that there will be an opportunity to hook into that or to tap into it. Not to run your lines to it, but to tap into it. At no cost for a certain period of time. That's at 7 p.m. here at the hall. I think I don't know, it might be in the other end. I don't know how many people could expect. But it showed, the hall will show you here. 2017 meeting dates, calendar. Is there some changes with that?
The only change that was brought to my attention in the last week is a planning commission change from Thursday, April 16th to Tuesday, April 18th. That is the only additional change that I'm aware of at this point. Anything else from anyone?
Okay, takes care of that. Along with the people in the drain district, the township has an obligation to the McGinnis drain. We have an assessment which is 25% of the bill. Not quite sure how they arrived at that.
We asked and we didn't get any real good answer either.
This is very difficult. People are coming in here and asking relevant questions, and if she tells them nothing at all, that's what we've been told. She does her best to answer their questions, but it's very difficult when no one gives you the information you need. But at any rate, we do have an obligation. Connie, could you touch on that for us, please?
Yeah, with 25% of that total assessment, over a 10-year period, what's put on our tax bill that we currently have would include interest. And the total amount of the 25% with interest is $206,335. If in fact, as a township, we could afford to pay that assessment up front and not pay the interest, we would be paying $181,250, which would be a savings of $25,085. The concern, I guess, is when the tax bills went out to not just the township, but to everyone in the township, what is shown on the bill is the assessment for the year with interest included. Individuals are coming in to find out if they can also do the same thing and pay without paying interest. And I don't have those dollar figures. We've turned them to the county to get that information, and Russ has been giving that out. And then in turn, they are bringing their money into the township to pay for that. It currently isn't on the tax roll that way, and so Russ is going to work with me as to how we're going to get that back to the county to offset those tax bills in the future, because they're already paid up front. Which brings us back to the township. We have to decide if we're paying by the year for the next 10 years. If we think that we want to try to pay the whole assessment up front and save that $25,000 to put towards something else. And that's kind of where we're at.
Do we have the money?
What interest rate, Connie, the difference between the interest that we're paying and the interest that we would be accumulating, now that 25,000 doesn't remain 25,000, does it? It might get cut in half or less.
Well,
You understand my question?
I do, totally, because I went and asked that same question to Mr. Smith here a couple months before it actually got on the tax bill. I didn't have any rates at that point in time. I asked the question again. But currently, we're not really getting anything for our money in the bank. And so based on this number, I'm sure the interest that we're paying is higher than the interest I have at 0.25
Right.
in the savings account.
Right.
Okay, so you're getting 2.5 in the savings account? The last interest rate we had on those sheets from Tom were 2.34.
Was what?
2.34 on the assessment. But I have no way of
Save
knowing
2%,
whether
yeah.
that's what it actually was used. And if that's the case, your 2.5 is greater than your 2.34.
Is it 2.5 or 0.25?
Oh, 0.25? Okay.
So there's like a 2% difference.
That would make a 2% difference.
2.05.
That's all we're getting is 0.25?
On the money that I had earmarked for this particular thing, because I set my CDs up based on time available. I could pull it from someplace else, but I put it into a 12-month when this came along, so that we would have it ready if we needed to pull it in at that time. That's what I got for my CD.
The question that has arisen from our new drain commissioner, and it's a logical one, and that is what is the total bill? Because the entire total bill may not even be there yet, so we don't even know what the full assessment in reality is yet.
So how can you start billing people for stuff you don't even know what it costs?
That's why thank God we got a new drain commissioner coming on board.
Loan interest rate is 2.43%.
Okay, the one Mark got is 2.34.
Yeah, and I think I had one that's 2.2.
Well, it started out at 350,000 and it's 720 now,
Right.
so.
Right. Each one is different.
So if we, and this is not a fair question because no one here can answer it, but my question would be, if we pay $187,000, is that the last we're gonna hear of it, or is something else gonna show up, like Forward Strike?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, me either. It would surprise me a bit. The only thing that I can say is whether it does or it doesn't, under the law of this drain, we are obligated for 25% of the total cost, whatever that turns out to be. And so the outcome's not gonna change whether we pay it, like
Right.
now. The interest is gonna
You
be,
don't have to pay it till February, is that correct?
right, February 14th.
And the county's in the same boat, we're hit for 25%, actually, I think a little more than that because of the property involved. I want to say it might be 27%.
It says here 25%.
That's part of the general.
But then there's more that comes
Just
with
saying
it.
that the property that's assessed is besides the part that's just saying the county has to
Yeah.
take.
I guess I'd hate to rush into that at this point in time. We can do it any time along the way. I understand that the further down the 10-year we go, the less we wind up saving. But I'd be hesitant at this point in time.
Well, I think that we have till February to sit and think about this and see what Ken Hilliard comes with, you know, at the time. And, you know, I'm totally
Yeah,
about having 5
yeah,
votes that go
yeah.
into this. It's
We
just-
wind up saving, just with the numbers you're saying, $2,500 a year. Right.
Mhm.
Which, hey, we'd all like to have $2,500, but that's not a monumental number. Over the 10 years, obviously, 25 grand we've saved, but we get a little bit back out of that, and I'm not sure we know where we're going with that yet. A lot of unanswered questions.
Well, that's how I feel when I hear people come in the door here and ask. You know, and you feel like a fool sitting there because you can't give them concrete answers to what needs to be done.
And on the bottom of the tax bill, I always have my cell phone on because I'm not here during the day most of the time. And I come in and out, but no one really knows what time I might be in. So I can tell you my cell phone's just lighting up and my machine is full and I don't have any answers. And it's really embarrassing to call back and say, understand your frustration, I feel the same thing, but I don't have an answer for you. But yet, at the top of the tax bill, it's my name.
Yeah, you collect the tax, or we do.
I
Even though the
just-
drain commissioner, you put the assessment on there.
It's just about over and done with, and I can't believe that in this world, something like that could get shoved down everybody's throat
Yeah, it's
with
right on my desk.
no answers and no satisfaction or,
Well, it's kind of suggested we have till February to take care of this. Well, I asked for it to be on the agenda tonight because we do have a full board tonight. We won't for January, February, March?
no, I'll be here next month.
Oh, we will? Oh, okay.
Maybe you can ask Ken to be here in January, if he would have some idea at that time of some concrete numbers, that maybe all the billing has come in, has given him a chance to look at it in his new capacity.
Oh, I didn't know we were here.
January 12th.
Okay. So, table it till next month?
That would be my recommendation.
Okay.
And at the next meeting, we'll have a copy of our action tax bills, but I'm fixing business and for.
Because unfortunately, it still doesn't help you with your phone mic around
No.
here. As well as here, and as well as Loretta's over there in that office, you know. She's handled it very well, I think, as you have. So,
So far, the people we've dealt with at this time of year have been really, really reasonable about it and very patient with the fact that we don't have any schedules.
anything else on that subject? Board review member appointments for 2-year terms, begins on January 1st, or yes, January 1st. Currently, the board review members are Dan Revolt, Paul Revolt, Tom Johnson, and Todd Allison. We do have a board review meeting next week.
Tuesday, 6 o'clock.
And Todd and Paul said they'd be here.
Okay.
Tommy will be out of town.
I would like to suggest that we retain the 4 members, in which case it would need a motion to retain the 4 members.
They've all been approached.
Yeah.
3 members and an alternate, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
3 members and all.
And all the terms come at the same time.
I'm sorry?
And all the term comes up at the same time.
Yes. Yes, the board review is every 2 years.
It is a-
appoint to the December meeting.
Kind of like the board. That's a funny deal.
It is, but
Getting funnier every day.
Could we do those separately, please?
Sure. Sure we can. Go ahead. Come on.
What are we doing?
Dan Revolt, Paul Revolt, Tom Johnson, and Todd Mallison.
But did Connie just ask separately?
she wants
Yes,
to separately.
I'll make a motion to reappoint Dan Revolt to the
Board review
board review
for a 2-year term.
for a 2-year term, following term.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved, supported that Dan Revolt be asked to serve on the board review for a 2-year term starting January 1st, 2017. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Make a motion to appoint Tom Johnson to the board of review for a 2-year term.
Is there a second?
Second.
So we move supported that Tom Johnson be appointed to the board review for a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2017. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'll make a motion to appoint Paul Revolt to board review for a 2-year term.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved supported that Paul Revolt be appointed to the board of review for a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2017. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Who's the fourth one?
Todd Allison.
Todd Allison.
And he's an alternate.
Yes,
He's
he
an
is.
alternate.
I'll make a motion to appoint Todd Mallison as an alternate to the board of review for a 2-year term as well.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved supported that Todd Mallison be appointed to the board of review for a 2-year term beginning January 1st, 2017. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Anything else that needs to be brought up at this time? If not, you've had an opportunity to view the bills.
I'll make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented and incoming bills as well for the month of December.
Is there a second?
I second that.
It's been moved, supported that the bills be paid, placed on file as presented, as well as the month of December.
December is received.
Any discussion? Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? None. Carried. Manistee County MTA will meet in March, that'll be March 22nd, 7 p.m. at the Brown Town Hall. Zoning Board of Appeals, is there an appeal? You don't know?
That's if there's an.
Yeah, if there's an appeal, it'll be January 3rd, 2017, here at the hall. Planning Commission will meet here January 5th, 7 p.m. here at the hall. Actually, the next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, January 12th, here at the hall at 7 p.m.
Oops.
What? 22 Fair Barley.
Yeah.
Again, there's the meeting next Thursday, 15th, for the sewer district.
Yes.
Any other comment? I would just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, safe Christmas, drive careful, it's the first snowfall, everybody's out there 30 miles an hour, be patient. I should talk. Anything else? Motion's in order.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I'll support that.
Been moved and supported, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Not opposed? Thank you very much.